Hello and thanks for staying on LN 24/7. This is Politics Now. My name is Morno Balagogo. We've got a packed show for you today, so get your family, friends together to sit with you as we talk politics. Well, first tonight we will look at the new judiciary and national security strategy leadership, looking at President Bola Tinubu's recent appointments. First, we'll talk about the politics behind the appointments, attacks set for the new NIA DSS heads, and agenda for the new Chief Justice of Nigeria. Joining us shortly to talk about this is Ambassador Austin Osage, political analyst. Austin Osage is also a UN Peace Ambassador and a public affairs analyst. Well, later on the show, we'll look at the PDP internal crisis. Here is a rundown of our talking points. We'll look at the leadership tussle, plots to remove Damagun, and the path towards reconciling aggrieved members, and PDP's chances at the governorship local government polls. Joining us later from Lagos, Barrister Sheya Olujimi, the State Secretary of the PDP Ondo State, will be helping us break down everything about the PDP. We'll take a quick breather and come back to break it all down for you. Stay with us. President Bola Tinubu on Monday approved the appointment of new Directors General of the National Intelligence Agency and the Department of State Services. In the NIA, Mohammed succeeds Ahmed Abubakar, who resigned his position as Director General. Abubakar was first appointed DG of the NIA in 2018 by former President Muhammadu Buhari, who extended his stay in office in December 2021. Meanwhile, Mr. Adiola Ajayi succeeds Yusuf Bichi as the new Director General of the DSS. Bichi was also appointed DG of the DSS in September 2018 by former President Buhari. Mohammed, who joined the NIA in 1995, has served in various roles, culminating in his promotion to the rank of director and his subsequent appointment as the head of the Nigerian mission to Libya. The new DSS Director General, Ajayi, rose through the ranks to attain his current post of Assistant Director General of the service. So, President Tinubu expects that the new security chiefs will work assiduously to reposition the two intelligence agencies for better results and charges them to bring their experience to bear in tackling the numerous security challenges bedeviling the country through enhanced collaboration with sister agencies in surgical alignment with the Office of the National Security Advisor. Now, let's move away from the appointments to the NIA and the DSS service. Look at the judiciary. Nigeria appointed Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun as its 23rd Chief Justice of the Federation, marking a significant milestone as the country welcomes its second female Chief Justice in history. Now, this historic appointment, announced by President Bola Tinubu, is seen as a progressive step forward in promoting gender equality within the nation's highest judicial office. Justice Kekere-Ekun brings a wealth of experience and a distinguished career in the judiciary to the role. Her elevation to the highest judicial position is expected to influence key legal reforms and further strengthen the independence and the integrity of Nigeria's judicial system. Now, expectations are really high. I don't know about you, but I, for one, have a lot of expectation from her. You look at the public perception of the judiciary, it definitely needs to be changed. But the big question is, how is she going to cleanse the rot in the system? I recently looked at an editorial on the Punch newspaper that was listing instances of rot in the judiciary system. Now, they started from Senator Ademo Bokachiwa's confession at the valedictory session of the Senate last year, that he said he reached out to his wife and the president of the Court of Appeal to get favorable decisions for for his politician friends in election cases. That kind of thing has to change. Then ex-Rivers State Governor Peter Odili, standing trial for fraud in 2007. He was granted a perpetual injunction in a rapacious display of judicial barbarism. Those are the words of the editor at Punch. Now, in a two separate case challenging the signing of a nomination paper or result form in more than one constituency in the same election by Ahmed Lawan and Godswill Akpabio, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of both in violation of Section 115 of the Electoral Act. And that kind of a scenario is also part of what some will call rot in the system. Then you look at another scenario, courts, including courts of coordinate jurisdiction, engaging in numerous abuse of interlocutory injunctions in mockery of the judiciary and the country. The list goes on and on. We can mention instances of rot in the judiciary. These are some of the issues that the Chief Justice has to address, the new Chief Justice, of course. Well, joining us to make sense of all of these recent appointments, with our focus tonight on the judiciary and those in charge of the security strategy of the president, is what we will be focusing on tonight. Well, joining us virtually via video call from Abuja is Ambassador Austin Osage. Thank you so much, Ambassador, for being with us on the show.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Ambassador, what's your reaction to the president's choice, which many continue to feel that it favors those from the Southwest?
It's to me, I've seen on the different social media platform, because majorly social media platform, where people are entitled to their opinion and their sentiment. And one thing you have to know is this: whether we like it or not, there are some certain offices in Nigeria that is by how do I put it? Is by hierarchy, meaning that in a special office like the office of the CGN, it's not an issue that maybe he went to pick somebody. If he was lucky to, whoever that comes knows the next person. After the present CGN, the next person to him, he or her, is already aware of the office. So I think it's coincidentally that probably maybe the president is coming from Lagos and the CGN is coming from Lagos. Let's look back. During the former CGN, the two former CGN, immediately after Justice Onogen, the man from Bauchi, I think, is it Bauchi or Gombe? He's from the north. And as at that time, if you remember, there are many arguments that even the CGN then was not qualified to become a CGN, because it was just like he has an Islamic law. He studied Islamic law. But the then president, Muhammadu Buhari, appointed him, and he stayed longer in that office before he was retired. And even if you remember, so to me, I don't want to be part of the people that will be discussing the politics of the CGN, because it's not, I'm not a lawyer. It's not on my, there's some discussion I don't naturally enter, because the office of the CGN is a respectable office in Nigeria, and it's an office that is a time office. It's not an office that maybe somebody can be appointed outside the bench there. It has to be somebody within the inner bench. So to me, whoever that, I saw some newspaper headline yesterday where the Senate was telling the Donald Duke that probably he heard on his statement or his assertion. That is left to him. But to me, I want to believe that the Honorable CGN, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, is duly duly appointed because it's our time. So whoever that is, so are we saying, what about maybe peradventure, the person is even related a relation to the president? Are you saying the person will not be appointed after serving many years on that bench? If you could remember, the Honorable Justice Kekereekun came into Supreme Court in 2013, about 11 years ago. So she never knew 11 years ago that the president of the country, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will become the president of Nigeria. That is about 11 years ago. So she was not aware. So if after 11 years she has been on that road and got what do you call it, turn, and somebody is not telling you a sentiment of maybe she's from Lagos, so does that hold water? It's not an office that maybe the president appointed her outside the role. No. So to me, my view is this: whether everybody is entitled to their opinion, but I want to believe, my view is that she is duly elected into the office.
Now, let's look at the new NIA and DSS heads. What do you think is responsible for this shakeup? Because if you recall, when President Bola Tinubu came into office, one of the first key things that he did was to shake up the security chiefs' positions. But this he did not do up till the moment he did this recent appointments, where we saw those who were in those previous positions, resigning. What are your thoughts and what's responsible for this shakeup?
I'm trying to say is that if you look at that appointment very well, I think this is the first time after a long time in Nigeria whereby the president is not going outside the service to go and pick somebody from outside. If you remember, as I said, the last government, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, then you can see that there are a lot of abnormalities that was brought into service. For instance, brought a retired colonel to become a custom boss. Brought somebody that had retired from DSS, then the other that was not even the DSS went to recall him and made him the DSS boss. So this time around, if you look at it, there are some social media that was reporting that during the announcement of the former DSS boss, the beach, you can see how people are celebrating and people are happy when they had the new announcement of the new this thing as part of them, as somebody that worked with them, and somebody that I think is very loyal to the service. And I was opportune to listen to the statement, the handing over statement yesterday at the DSS headquarters, whereby all the staff, if you see it from their face, or the video I saw, you see that, man, they're happy. So I want to believe that the president did a very right thing by not following the former trend, by bringing somebody from outside the service, or somebody that is retired, or somebody that was disengaged from the service, and you are bringing them back to come and head the service. Such kind of attitude most times do withdraw those that they perceive as people that they are enemy when they were in service or when they were. But this time around, I think it's picking somebody. Okay, look at for instance now, the appointment of the new DSS boss. I'm sure for the first time in the history of Nigeria that somebody will be appointed and the whole services everywhere they were happy. They were very, very happy. So that's a statement to Nigerians that think they are comfortable with their boss and they are really going to work with him. And that was when the DSS boss was telling them yesterday that he want them to cooperate with the new incoming boss for them to achieve. And I listened to the statement of the new boss too, saying he's going to bring back all what they believe that they have lost in terms of integrity of the service, which I think that should be the main aim of the appointment.
Now, given the roles these agencies play in providing reliable information for curbing insecurity, how do you think they can augment the gap that seems to be lacking?
I think that should be the mandate and the marching order the president should give them. To me, to my own view, and I continue telling some of my friends that if I had the opportunity to be the president of Nigeria or to serve Nigeria as a governor or as a president, I won't hesitate to fire you after 3 months or 6 months. The idea of keeping somebody in the office for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, without achieving any tangible stuff, I think is not part of it. I think that should be part of the marching order. The president should give them that. As a service chief, be DSS, police, anything. If you are coming to that office, you are coming to that office not just to come and be blowing siren up and down in Abuja, but it's for you to come and ensure that probably what you think is not working well before you came, and you put it right. If you look at many previous security chiefs and all that, some people are there just blowing siren up and down, and the same issues continue happening. I think one of the biggest challenges in Nigeria today is intelligence. Because sometimes you'll be surprised that there's some attack that if there was a normal intelligence, that attack will not happen. If there's a coordinated intelligence within the security apparatus, you will discover that many of those attacks will not happen. But today, so I think I want to believe that the new incoming NIA boss will know, because he's in Nigeria, and I'm sure he has worked. Like the last place I think he worked as an ambassador to Libya, and when I saw the CV, and working in Libya have almost peculiar case with Nigeria. They have security issues and all that. And for somebody that worked there as an NIA desk officer there, and as an ambassador of NIA in that country, I think it should be abreast with the new happening in Nigeria, that today one of the mandates is to ensure that there's a coordinated intelligence within other sisters security bodies, to ensure that at least in a shorter time, something is happening, we should be able to know, okay, where are we going? Where are we going to look at these things? We can't just continue doing the same thing and probably expect a different result. So I want to believe that both the DSS and the NIA, they are going to work together, not like before that you see EFCC official, NDLA, they are quarreling and all that. Everybody is trying to show muscles. This time around, there's no call for that, because we have a very serious security challenge at hand that needs urgent attention to work on. So I want to believe that as it stands today, Nigeria is in dire need of a perfect security intelligence, be able to tackle the security challenge we have now. So I want to believe the two new bosses, they are Nigerians, and they are aware of Nigerians. Even if they are sleeping in their office, they have relatives, they have friends that they are hearing from. Kidnappings and all vices, all security challenge vices are there. And I think there's no time. But to me, as I said earlier, the president should give them a marching order. Probably you are saying that in 3 months, in 6 months. In 3 months, in 3 months, I expect you to have settled in your office. In 6 months, I expect to see result as a president. And if I didn't see any result, I fire you, I bring another person. So if everybody is aware that that place you are is just a temporary place, that you can't just be there and be thinking that you can do whatever you like there, everybody will sit tight. So I think that is my view on that.
Looking at what is at stake in the nation's judiciary, what are some of the immediate things that you think the new Chief Justice of Nigeria, Madam Kekere, needs to do to cleanse the sector?
The former CJN, the immediate former CJN, in his speech, his validated speech when he was going, he made mention of something, and I think in different fora, people have people to analyze that particular point. The point is this, and I think I want to go in line with that, is that the Supreme Court is overwhelmed. It's overwhelmed. If you look at it, when there was integrity in Supreme Court, I could remember in 1999, 2003, 2007, when the governorship or senatorial governorship mostly stopped at the Court of Appeal. There are some cases that I think is not supposed to get more than Federal High Court. But it become a problem whereby by the time you are bringing people into some issues that doesn't concern them, the CGN said, the former CGN said, he said the Supreme Court is overwhelmed. I think I want to believe with many analysts that have come and said, truly is overwhelmed. There are some cases you don't take to Supreme Court because by taking those cases, one is going to delay. Imagine some people are having cases in Supreme Court for the past 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and there's no judgment yet. There are some cases ordinarily within 1 or 2 weeks to be. So because by the time you give room for cases to linger, automatically they are going to be interested in those cases, and probably maybe other party that is even wrong because the case have too long time probably to be delivered. Automatically it's going to win sentiment and all that into this. I don't want to completely believe because they are human beings too, the CJ, the justice of the Supreme Court. But to me, I think people have set some lawyers, senior lawyers have set goals for her that are coming. I think is coming at the right time, whereby there are some new policies that should be introduced into the Supreme Court. Because the idea of even at the lower court, even the idea of delaying some cases and all that, there are some criminal cases that within 1 or 2 weeks you can give judgment on that cases, but it's still there for 5, 6, 10, 20 years. There are some cases that are lingering in the courts for 10, 15 years. So automatically, that will automatically breed, interest and sentiment into cases. So if the Supreme Court or the Honorable Justice that is coming now, I think those are areas that are key areas for now that they can look at and probably do something about. Because as a country, we will continue complaining until we get the right thing done. Because a country like ours, which over 200 million, should not be in this kind of a quagmire situation whereby probably you see yourself as, if you are a poor man, you don't have a say anywhere. And to me, it's not the right thing to do. So I want to believe that the new CGN that is coming is a tax. It's a big tax ahead of her, probably to look into all those things and probably separate some criminal issues from the genuine issues, especially the politician. Because if you look at it, to all the rots and the problem we have in this country today, it's because of this politician. But the majority of them are very desperate. They can go to any length probably to get what they want. So by imagine even a magistrate. So I think it's a total overhauling from the lower court to the Supreme Court, so that they can rebuild the confidence with Nigerians, so that you know that at least if you have any issue in court, within shorter time, your case will be delivered and you get justice, irrespective of who you are. So I want to see it from that perspective too, that Honorable CGN have a lot of tax ahead of her, and probably there's no two ways about it. Nigeria want to see.
Once again, thank you so much, Ambassador Austin Asage, for being with us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, you're still watching Politics Now. We'll take a quick breather, and when we come back, we will be talking about the PDP's internal crisis. To stay with us. Glad to know you're still with us on LN 24/7. This is Politics Now. Time to jump into our next conversation, PDP's internal crisis. Here is a rundown of our talking points. Leadership tussle, plot to remove Damagun. We'll also talk about the path towards reconciling aggrieved members and PDP's chances at governorship local government polls. Joining us later is Barrister, not later, but rather now, Barrister Barrister Sheye Olujimi, the State Secretary, PDP Ondo State. Well, the People's Democratic Party continues to struggle in uniting members of its party as some of its members want its current acting national chairman Umar Damagun removed because of alleged ties to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, and others want former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to retire his ambition of contesting as president. The lingering tensions within the party also extend to some of its state's chapters. But the People's Democratic Party has taken a significant step to reinforce party unity and discipline with the inauguration of two critical committees. The committees include the Reconciliation Committee, chaired by former Osun State Governor Chief Olagunsoye Oyelola, and the Disciplinary Committee, led by High Chief Tom Ikimi. According to the statement from the PDP, the Reconciliation Committee will collaborate with other party organs to resolve internal conflicts, foster harmony among members, and promote cohesion. The Disciplinary Committee, on the other hand, has been tasked with addressing misconduct and ensuring accountability within the party. Joining us to make sense of all this is Barrister Sheye Olujumi. Thank you so much for being with us on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
All right, so let me ask you this question. Are you happy with the current affairs of your party?
Going straight to your question about the crisis of our party, there is no party that doesn't have a crisis of its own. Even within a small family, we do have that. The only luck that the likes of the APC, being the current ruling party, that they do have is because they have a president. And whenever you have something of that nature, little will you know about such crisis. That doesn't mean such does not exist. And I'm not trying to shy away from the question you've asked me. I will agree with you if you say there are crises, and I will also agree with you if you tend to say there are no crises. But in a kind of political party like this, where we have many families, not even one, two, running into millions, it is bound to happen. And the ability to manage such crises should be the order of the day. And it's upon that premise that we will give such to People's Democratic Party, because we have our ways of managing our internal crisis. And there's no way we want to such, not even when we just finish the presidential election in less than 14 to 15 or 16 months. So, where you have some people defecting, some, and this must have been as a result of some not even able to stay out of power for a particular time, or trying to move with their friends, or trying to be kind of selfish. It depends on the reason as to which way they have to leave. But having said that, for the fact remains that ability to manage the crisis should be the order of the day. So,
many are not happy with the leadership of the party, of which many think it's because of either loyalty to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and Atiku Abubakar. What are your thoughts?
Well, I would like to be silent on that particular assumption, because in politics is all about interest. The fact that I'm in PDP does not mean I can't have friends in APC. The fact that His Excellency, the current Minister for FCT, is presumed to be having, I don't know what to say, people do presume just because is the Minister for FCT, and they do believe is romancing APC. And that doesn't erase the fact that he shouldn't be friends with Damagun. They've been brothers and been friends for a long time. So such insinuations are bound to happen, and people tend to believe his loyalty in one way or the other. May try to tend towards Wiki, or kind to have a kind of sympathy for him. So these are insinuations, and at times it's all about interest. But that does not mean, it does not take the fact that the acting chairman is for everybody. It's for everybody. But the fact that he's so close to Governor Wike, that doesn't mean that I will like it now, quote and unquote, Governor Wike has been the one ruling the affairs of the party. But people will just come with their insinuations, with their ideas, with their permutations, but that does not make it the order of the day. So, like if you ask me now, it's not an insinuation. Either it belongs to Camp A or Camp B. Is the acting chairman of the party. So, and I'm able to say that there's no distinct parallel membership between such factions. But you will agree with me that in the past, after the presidential election or before the presidential election, shortly after our party primaries, we have some one or two differences between those that you just mentioned. But you also agree with me that we have our ways of managing this crisis and doing a kind of reconciliation, as the case may be.
Now, the big question is Atiku responsible for the state of the party, the current state, where people feel like the party is losing its effectiveness in being a formidable opposition to the APC, saying that he is not ready to sacrifice his personal ambition?
Well. Now, all these things are insinuations. The fact still remains that His Excellency Atiku Abubakar remains the flag bearer of the last election, and such is still hold until we have another party primaries, either we like it or not. And if he's going to contest in the next coming election, why can't we wait for that? And that one will stop us or we kill our curiosity as it is right away. It's just a matter of you guessing, whereby you can patiently wait. We are still in year 2024. We are still going to year 2027. So it's not too early, not too late to wait for another 2 years or a year and a few months to see how things will unfold. If he will be interested, if there will be zoning, if there will be this or there won't be that. So insinuation is not even in my own dictionary. Fine. We have something that we call permutation. But permutations is so much different from insinuation. So I won't want to infer or to assume or to follow whoever is thinking maybe is interested in the next presidential election or is not. I don't think that should be a story for discussion because it's not right for hearing. I'm a lawyer. It's not right to start insinuating that for now. So that was just my reaction to what was asked.
Now, Barrister, this is about a unifying effect. When you have, former and the immediate national publicity secretary of your party in the person of Kola Ologbondiyan addressing Atiku as a man of deceit who is ready to sacrifice his entire family to become president, and not just him alone, but also Chief Olabode George recently citing that PDP lost the 2023 election because Atiku was the candidate. When you have people like this talking about the leadership of the party, what do you say to these comments?
That is the beauty of democracy. Democracy is how would I put it now? It's a game of number in one way or the other. It's a game of trying to convince people to think towards a direction. You will agree with me that not everybody will support you. You also agree with me that I'm not making a case for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. But he is, as it stands now, he remains the leader of the party. And it's not as if he has declared or he has left the party. He remains the presidential candidate of our party until we have another party primaries. So he should be able to do, that which is expected of him in resolution of crisis, trying to galvanize people to the party in one way or the other, trying to resolve conflict, And this, I think, he has been trying his best. And there's no day or there's no time things like this won't crop up by saying maybe the reasoning or the actions in which he has been doing in the recent time is galvanizing towards 2027 again. It's normal for people to insinuate. Like I say, I won't be making case for him because 2027 is still far and yet it's very close. But we should not work to that side. And we should not be curious, We should not be that curious. But he should just do what is expected of him, and which I think he has been doing. He has been playing the opposition role in one way or the other, trying to criticize some policies that the present government is doing, which he feels that they are not in the best way to do. So we should not just assume. Assumption is just what I want us to take away from this. Even though permutation is allowed, but assumption should be removed.
So away from Atiku, do you think that the FCT minister should be disciplined for anti-party activities as a path towards healing the party? Because for some people, that's a big problem for them.
I don't know. Some people have been shying away from the truth, and some is saying what the feel is true. But whatever I say now, I'm saying it as a member of PDP. I should not be quoted to have been brought to a corner as the secretary of People's Democratic Party in Ondo State. Now, this one I'm about to say is my personal opinion. Well, it's not a matter of like in my dialect, when they try to explain you trying to swallow something that is sweet and yet you have something that is bitter in your mouth. The situation is so confusing, to be told, because when you look at the likes of Bola Ige then, when Obasanjo made him AG in his cabinet then, though it's not as dicey as this. The reason why this one is colored with a kind of funny packaging is because His Excellency Wike contested and find a lost out. We have some kind of permutation or some kind of insinuation or some kind of advice that should be made the VP against all odds. It wasn't. By so doing, it was presumed that it worked against the party, presumed in a River State. But we should not forget the fact that they won the governorship election in River State. So these many more are just full of mixed feelings, like I would say, mixed feelings, because left to me, fine, it's a member of PDP. It's still a member of PDP until a proof otherwise. And I believe NEC, which happens to be the highest decision-making body, I've been able to say nothing wrong in that in one way or the other. And you also agree with me that as small as the word of any politician may be, is one of the most powerful tools upon which a politician can be dealt with. You will still agree with me that he's not been suspended from his word. He has not been found to have done that which is against the constitution of the PDP. So by so doing, I think the fact speaks for himself that he's our member, is only trying to deliver or trying to lend his own hand or trying to give a kind of expertise or in the best way he can to the current. Like I keep saying it, it's just a bitter pill to swallow, because looking at a member of another party coming to work with, ordinarily, there shouldn't be nothing wrong with that. Ordinarily, there shouldn't be nothing wrong with that. But looking at what cropped up and what led to that is now looking as if it was a kind of compensation, for what he has done, for what people said he has done. And I keep saying it, there must have been a fact to that effect. So people said he has worked against the party, and I'm very sure that there will be a discipline for that if that was said, if that was to be assumed to be true. So, but since there's no disciplinary action to that effect up to now, so I believe that's not the case, but it's just a bitter pill to swallow, just because of the way the whole thing cropped up. He lost an election, he went to an election, he was to be made the vice, he was presented or being at the presidential candidate was being advised to choose him as the running mate, against all odds and other things. So these are the reasons why people just believe, no, he's working at the cross end, but still remain the member of People's Democratic Party until the proven otherwise.
Also, the disagreement over reconciliation moves in the party has polarized chieftains. Do you think this reconciliation will yield the right results? Because for as strategists, as like myself, I would believe that having Wike and Atiku sitting together and mending whatever that needs to be mended is going to be very key in uniting, whatever sides people decide to choose in terms of who they are loyal to will actually solve the problem. But what are your thoughts with these committees that Damagun has announced? Will they do the job effectively? Are you hopeful?
We should not assume. It's just like a matter in court that is sub judice, and you are trying to preempt the court. Or take for instance, if someone has been alleged to have killed a particular citizen, I'll just ask them, oh, how come the judgment was being delivered that way? Or you're passing a kind of copy that, of course, definitely is going to line imprisonment. What if that's not the point? Why do I have to say that? Let me try to link it with the current position of things. See, a reconciliation has been set up. And let me appreciate the leadership of People's Democratic Party. When you look at the calibers of people that we have there, of course, these are people that have been tested and they have to be trusted. The likes of Osun State, former governor of Osun State, of course, if you agree with me that these are people of high class. So, having said that, you can't see, there's nothing in this life that goes forever. We all know this. We all know this. What if by tomorrow, even before they start the real work after their inauguration, and you realize the former governor of Rivers State, Wike, and Atiku Abubakar, they are together, dining and whining together. Even before you never say never. And the aim of this reconciliation is not a fanfare. It's to achieve a particular end. And don't be surprised. Of course, we know the end already. The end is to bring them together, and that is just one side of the problem. Wike, Atiku may not be the only issue here. We have some that are intrastate, we have some that are intergovernment, local government. So we have to explain all these things and take them towards the feet of the reconciliation committee and do justice for that. So you should not assume, you should not preempt. But the aim of this reconciliation committee, being led by Olagosu Oyinlola, a trusted, tested, and fearless man, is to get the whole thing settled, ranging from Atiku, Wike, Bruaha, and the likes of it. So I have no doubt in me that by the time they are done, of course, the sky will even be our starting point to lead us into winning election and elections, as the case may be.
Now, when you look at the PDP governors, they seem united in pushing through with the benefits of what the party stands to offer Nigerians. They are always vocal. You recall during the time of fuel subsidy removal, they were vocal. The issue of minimum wage, they were vocal. Even with the protests across the country, some of them were vocal. And, this is the unity that we would expect from the party as a whole, and not some people try to, be under the protection of some other persons. I know you understand what I'm talking about, but what role do you think they bring to the table in ensuring that your party still remains a formidable opposition?
Yeah, thank you. You will realize that there is a difference between a 50 kilogram of water and a 50 kilogram of palm oil. One is area. People they've been able to taste PDP government in the previous year or years, and now they are tasting APC, and they've been tasting it for almost about 9 years now. So I will just keep that in that angle. And as for sustaining PDP and trying to see PDP take over government, according to what you've asked me, if I'm right, you will realize that we have different caucus, place and caucus of governors. We have that of APC caucus, we have that of PDP caucus. Of course, we agree that they are doing all they can to unite the party, to work for the betterment of the party, and to do that which will lead us to take over power in 2027, and also to make them have a better government in their various states as compared to that of the people's APC. So that is what I will say to that. The section of governor, the governor forum or the PDP governor forum, they are trying their best and they do meet from time to time. And the meeting is sort of fun, but to see as to how our party will progress and take over government uh, come 2027.
Now, Barrister Shea, what are the chances of your party at the coming elections in Ondo, Edo, and of course the local government elections across the country?
Well, it's just a pity you keep mentioning this issue of internal crisis, and I still don't understand why you keep saying it. Is it that we don't have any internal crisis in APC? Is it that we don't have some factions that are anti-Ganduje? Is it that you don't have some people even trying to institute some kind of personal cases against him as to the issue of the former dollar brouhaha? So what are you talking about? And like I keep saying this, they have their own way of managing it too. Let me now come to my home state. Of course, we have an election in Edo State and Ondo State. Let me should be so specific about the of my state. The crisis within the APC in Ondo State, only if you know that is as big as anything else. But each and many one of them are trying to be so careful just because they have that central that holds them together, and that is the president. You can't be too bigger than, you can't be too big or bigger than the president. Of course, you all know that there's politics. So everybody just have to pipe low. They have to pipe low because they are yet to be healed of the wound they sustained during the last primary election that brought in Governor Loki Aiyedatiwa as the APC presidential governorship candidate. So I won't want to be the spokesman or give more light to that. But the issue of you saying internal crisis, don't tell me a state that is so perfect, or just tell me a party that is so perfect. Is it the Labour Party that we have Aburi and the other man? Or that of the APC that we have? In fact, the crisis in the APC is more pronounced, too deep, too, in fact, just because, like I keep saying it, they have the presidency. They have the president who, on the face of it, we just have to be a unifier and cover up for many things. So that one is as to that. You don't ask me as to the reason why people have to take our party serious. It's just a pity that well, it is normal that another political party, we have to campaign, we have to canvass for election, we have to say this, we have to say that. Those who gain popularity ask for votes. If the so-called APC in Ondo still have done well, they will be making some moves they are making in recent time. I was trying to discuss with some people. Let's even start with the way they've been calling. They now have professional people calling all citizens of Ondo State now. So fine. I know you'll be too quick, or someone will be too quick to tell me, of course, that's not part of electionary campaign or that's not part of strategy. But if as a sitting government or a sitting governor, you have all it takes to prove to the citizens of Ondo State, due to what we've done in the last 4 years or in the last 1 year or in the last 8 months, you need little or no campaign because we all know that this will be subject to what I call a predicate proof. It should be open to the blind. Even someone that is deaf should be able to hear or what we've been doing. But if that is the case in Ondo State, and you can even ask if you are bold enough, and if you see most of all this APC, even if they can't come up publicly, they'll be willing to tell you that things are not fine with them within the party. Things are not well that much with people from those states, with the state in general. This will be the first time in history that the governor will be collecting such a huge amount of money as allocation. So I don't know the exact amount now. So I don't want to quote a wrong figure. You know, this is the first time in a state that will be having 2 digit billions coming in form of subvention, in form of allocation, in form of, put all put together. And when you look at the HGR that the state is able to generate now, having been inherited from the late governor Akeredolu, it's now on the high side. But what do we have to show for this? Nothing. All we have to show for this is us just hearing on the radio about them singing for Lucky Aye that you are doing this, don't fight with him. There's one song. It's always so funny to hear that song. In our dialect. It means don't fight with him. What? As if we are waging war, as if there's a crisis in Ondo State. Just because they are scared within themselves. But it's not a pity that we are being faced with such a situation in Ondo State, because this is not the Ondo State that I know that the previous or the governor's predecessor bargained for, the likes of late Adefarati Agagu. Even I'm very sure, even the only living former Governor Mimiko, I'm very sure this is not the kind of state they wish to see, even in their own lifetime, because everything is just working upside down. Everything is just working backwards. And I'm not trying to play politics with this. This is what we can see all over. I'm able to say that even the so-called roads that was being started by the late Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, may God rest his soul, they have been abandoned. It's just there. This present government should come out and tell us how many roads they've been able to commission, or how many roads they've been able, or if they've been able to send all those contractors back to the pending abandoned projects that was being inherited by the late governor. Because we agree with me that government is a kind of continuous exercise. It's continuous. So if that is the case, let me be quick to say this. In the recent time, we got a shame of our life as one of the most brilliant states. We agree, of course, we agree with me that Ondo State is one of the most brilliant states in Nigeria when it comes to the way we rate education, like that of Ekiti State. Do you know that as low, I'm going to use the word as low, as minimal, as affordable, like a government should be able to pay for WAEC fee. We are even owing WAEC money. The money meant to be paid, we're just able to pay for part payment. And what do we see for this? We got a show of shame by WAEC withholding the results of our students.
You've been very quite vocal about your state, and that's understandable because you are the secretary for the Ondo PDP. But I don't have the APC rep to counter some of the things that you are saying about the current governor of the state. I just wanted to be clear about that.
You agree with me that I'm always modest in my opinion. And I know the rules of engagement when it comes to making false allegations. This is subject to political proof. It's not about the media. It's not about the media. Until they now went ahead to clear it. It's embarrassing. It's unheard of. In a state whereby we have such good amount of money, how much is this one that they can't pay up an issue or from the onset? So as a good citizen of Ondo State, I just say that as a show of shame. So be it.
All right, finally.
With this, let me just round up all right. So I'm just round up by saying that even these alone and many more are the reasons why people will even want to vote such a party back to power again, because they've been able to lift what I call a keg of oil and a keg of water. Of course, it's not the one that is more heavy, because they've tested PDP government in the past, and I'm very sure they'll be willing to come November 16, 2024.
Now, before we let you go, I would love to know your thoughts on the delayed local government elections in your state.
My brother, my reply to that question is straight and simple. They've been able to postpone this election more than 3 or 4 times. Will you ask me why? It's because we told them we will be contesting. Not like some previous elections whereby the opposition party will be shying away from the truth, saying it's no government election. It's not likely that the people will, the ruling party will win everything. We told them we are going to contest this. But it will surprise you that they postponed this more than 4 times. Why are they scared? Of course, we are ready for them. We are ready. If they want it tomorrow, we are ready. We are ready because we are ready to test the water, even with our 2 feet. So that's not the point. But as it stands right now, there's no plan to even have the election. And the reason is just because they don't want to be damaged before they get damaged. That's just the position.
Thank you so much, Barrister Sheye Olujimi, for being with us on the show tonight.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine. Thank you for having me.
And that's our show for tonight. Many thanks for watching. Do stay logged on to our website, www.ln247.news, for more great stories. Once again, I am Morno Balagogo. Many thanks for watching. Good night.